The neighborhood of Sparrow Hills looked like the kind of place where peace lived. Pastel homes, quiet streets, tall trees whispering in the wind. To anyone driving through, it felt safe, calm, perfect. But anyone living there knew the truth. Behind the hydrangea bushes and brick mailboxes lurked the one force everyone feared. Marjorie Halston, the HOA president. A woman who believed rules were sacred scripture. A woman who believed she had been chosen to enforce them. And unfortunately, she had chosen us as her next target. I am Alyssa Reyes, a single mother to an 11-year-old boy named Noah. Noah was born with a severe respiratory disease, a condition that made his lungs extremely sensitive. Most days, he breathed through a portable oxygen-friendly mask outdoors. Even mild fumes could send him into a coughing spiral or worse. So when we bought our home in Sparrow Hills, I installed a small, quiet air-purifying station on our patio, approved by the city, doctor recommended, and essential for his safety. To Noah, it meant freedom. He loved sitting outside, sketchbook in hand, drawing birds that perched on our cedar fence. For the first 2 weeks, it felt like paradise. Until Marjorie saw the purifier. It started with a note in our mailbox. Unapproved exterior device. Remove immediately. I sent medical documents, explanations, and even an offer to paint the purifier enclosure to match our house. Her response? A printed letter taped directly to our door. Rules are rules. No exceptions. I tried to talk to her in person, hoping compassion existed somewhere beneath her rigid exterior. But when she looked at Noah, his small chest rising and falling rapidly behind his mask, her eyes narrowed. "It's dramatic, don't you think?" she said, her lips curling. "Kids don't need all these appliances. They need discipline." I held Noah's hand tighter. I reminded myself to stay calm, to be patient. But patience means nothing when you're dealing with someone who enjoys their power. Over the next month, the harassment escalated. Daily letters. Weekly fines. Photos taken of our backyard without permission. Once, Noah saw her peering through the bushes, scribbling notes onto her clipboard. He clung to me that night, trembling. "Mom, did I do something wrong?" "No," I whispered. "Some people just don't see what they don't understand." He nodded, but fear stayed in his eyes. Then came the day everything changed. It was a warm April afternoon, the kind Noah loved. He was sitting in the backyard with his sketchbook, drawing our neighbor's dog asleep on their porch. I was cleaning the kitchen when I heard it. A small, choked cough. Then another. And another. I rushed outside. "Noah." "Honey, what's wrong?" He gasped, clutching his chest, his sketchbook falling from his trembling hands. "Mom, it's burning." His eyes were watering. His breathing was ragged. His oxygen mask alarm beeped sharply. Then I smelled it. A harsh, chemical sting, heavy, sour, unmistakably industrial. I turned toward the fence line. And there she was, Marjorie Halston, spraying a large gallon-sized industrial cleaner all along the shared fence. Her face twisted with satisfaction as the fumes drifted directly toward Noah. She saw him struggling. She saw him choking. And she smirked. I ran to him, scooping him into my arms. His breaths came in short, panicked squeaks. His chest struggled against invisible hands squeezing his lungs shut. "Noah, look at me," I whispered. "Stay with me." But his eyes were fluttering. Behind me, Marjorie's voice cut through the air. "This is what happens," she said evenly, "when you don't follow the rules." I saw red. "You knew he was out here," I yelled. "He shouldn't be outside with that contraption," she replied calmly. "It's an eyesore. And you ignore warnings. So I'm taking matters into my own hands." Noah's body went limp against me. I felt his head fall onto my shoulder. "Noah, Noah, stay with me." I didn't remember grabbing my phone. But suddenly my fingers were dialing 911. The world became a blur. The ambulance. Neighbors running over. Paramedics lifting Noah from my arms. His face was pale. His oxygen mask hissed, struggling to deliver enough flow. One paramedic looked at me with hard eyes. "What happened?" he asked. She sprayed chemicals, I sobbed. Right next to him. On purpose. The paramedic turned to Marjorie. Ma'am, did you knowingly use industrial cleaning fluids near a medically fragile child? Her lips curled. I cleaned my property. If her kid can't handle it, she said with a shrug. Maybe they shouldn't live here. A neighbor gasped. Someone cursed under their breath. But Marjorie just folded her arms, proud of herself. As the ambulance doors closed, I saw her watching, expression unreadable, but somehow triumphant. At the hospital, doctors worked urgently. Oxygen, bronchodilators, steroids to reduce inflammation. I sat beside Noah's bed, praying, begging, pleading to anyone who might hear. Hours later, his breathing steadied. But the doctor's words stayed carved in my memory. This exposure could have been fatal. Whatever chemical was used, its fumes were extremely dangerous given his condition. Whoever sprayed that near him knowingly endangered his life. Knowingly. Endangered. My son's life. Because of a rule. Because of an HOA. Because of her. When we returned home the next day, the neighborhood was buzzing. Someone had posted the ambulance footage on the HOA group chat. People were furious, not at me, but at her. 2 board members quit. 2 demanded an emergency meeting. Half the street came to my door to apologize. One neighbor, Mrs. Ellison, told me quietly, "We've all been scared of her. But this is different. What she did to Noah crossed every line." The next 48 hours changed everything. Security footage from another neighbor confirmed the truth. Marjorie didn't just spray cleaning fluid. She sprayed industrial degreaser, a chemical banned for residential use. She sprayed it facing our yard. Facing Noah. On a windy day. Police arrived. The HOA board arrived. Half the neighborhood stood outside watching as officers knocked on her door. She opened it, still smug, until they explained the charges. Her face finally changed. I stood at the end of my driveway, Noah leaning against me, still weak. When Marjorie was escorted into the police car, her eyes met mine. But there was no smirk, just silence, and the realization that her reign was over. In the weeks that followed, Sparrow Hills transformed. The HOA rewrote its rules. Mandatory safety considerations. Automatic medical exemptions. Zero tolerance for harassment. Neighbors who once avoided us now brought dinner, helped with yard work, and sat with Noah as he painted. And Noah slowly rediscovered his peace. One evening, as he sketched a cardinal perched on our fence, he said, "Mom, do you think she hated me?" I shook my head. "No, baby," I whispered. "She didn't hate you. She hated losing control. And you reminded her she couldn't control everything." He nodded, thoughtful. Then he smiled, small but real. "I'm glad she's gone." "Me too," I said, holding him close. Sparrow Hills felt safe again. Because sometimes, one act of cruelty reveals the truth about a whole community. And one child's courage forces people to finally stand up. No rule, no HOA, and no tyrant will ever matter more than a child's breath.